Hello and welcome to Cinema of Blood, or if you're German, Kino des Blutes. Learn something new every day, huh? Anyway, so today I've got 5 horror movies from the year 1984. I got some nice natural light coming in from the window. No other lights on in the house, or that I know of. I don't know. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get underway. So I've actually got 2 films here from 1984 from Wes Craven. All right, so let's go ahead and get underway with the first one. The first one is A Nightmare on Elm Street. How could I not include this movie for 1984? This was a huge movie. All right, so anyway, it is written and directed by Wes Craven. Stars Heather Langenkamp, Johnny Depp, and Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. So if you don't know what A Nightmare on Elm Street is about, it is about a group of teenagers led by Nancy, and she's got Glenn, her boyfriend. Nancy's played by Heather Langenkamp. Glenn's played by Johnny Depp. And there's a few other ones. But anyway, they are terrorized by this being that when they fall asleep and he gets into their dreams and he kills them in their dreams. The thing about it is when he kills them for real, all right? And that is Freddy Krueger, of course, played by Robert Englund. Let me see, am I leaving anything out of this? Yes, and also Freddy is basically getting revenge on the parents who burned him alive after he got off on a technicality for being a child murderer. Yes, that's A Nightmare on Elm Street. All right, that is the most. That's an in a nutshell synopsis of A Nightmare on Elm Street. It is a classic. It's fun. It's scary. It stood the test of time for, well, what, 1984? I don't know how many years ago that was, because if I have to do math, my head explodes. But yeah, it's just an absolutely fantastic horror film, especially if you're big on slasher films and all that sort of thing. And teenage horror films, if you want to call it that. All right, so there you go. That's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. All right, so let's see. What do we got next? We have got, and this one here, the more I thought about this one, the more I thought, how am I going to describe this movie? How am I going to do a synopsis for this movie? I saw it once. I saw it years ago. I saw it when it came out in 1984. And it's one of those films, like I said, it's one of those films, even though I've seen it once, I need to watch it again. It's stuck with me, all right? And I am talking about The Company of Wolves, all right? So The Company of Wolves is directed by Neil Jordan. The screenplay is by Neil Jordan and Angela Carter, and it is based on Angela Carter's short story of the same name, all right? And also it says here there's a part from Charles Perrault, quotations from Petit Chaperon Rouge. All right, I'm not sure about that. Like I said, it's been a while since I saw the movie, okay? All right, it stars Sarah Patterson, Angela Lansbury, and David Warner. All right, so I'm just going to go off on a tangent here about how to describe The Company of Wolves, all right? The Company of Wolves is Little Red Riding Hood retold. It is a fairy tale. It is a fever dream. It's a werewolf story. If you're into any of those things, and you are going to enjoy The Company of Wolves. First off, one thing I will say about this is the cinematography is fantastic. The imagery in this film is absolutely breathtaking. But again, it's just, to me, it's like I'm not really sure how to describe what this movie is about. All I can tell you is that I enjoyed it. I need to watch it again, and I highly recommend it. All right, which really seems strange for a movie that I've seen in only one time, but hey, what are you going to do? All right, anyway. Okay, moving on. Next movie we have is the second Wes Craven film. Now, this one was a TV movie. This is one of those examples of a bad movie that you can still have some fun with. I'm talking about Invitation to Hell. All right, this is written or directed by Wes Craven. It is written by Richard Rothstein, which may explain why you don't see a whole lot of Craven's signature style in this TV movie, is the fact that it was written by another person besides himself. All right, so it stars Robert Urich, who was in a record amount of TV series. All right, Joanna Cassidy and Susan Lucci. Yes, that's Susan Lucci. Erica Kane from All My Children. Has she ever won? Did anybody, can anybody tell me, any of you soap opera watchers out there, did she ever win any awards yet? I mean, I remember, because when I wasn't working for a while, I was watching the show, and I know, yes, I watch soap operas, don't judge me. Anyway, I kept seeing, well, the daytime Emmys, and she'd be nominated, nope, wouldn't win, be nominated, nope, wouldn't win. I always thought, what did she do? Who did she piss off? All right, anyway, let me get back to the movie, the plot of the movie. The plot of the movie is this: Joanna Cassidy and Robert Urich are a family. They got kids. They move into this community, and there's this like really exclusive health club, or this really exclusive club, you know, that everybody wants to get into. And the only thing about this club is that it's kind of a doorway or a gateway to hell. That is what it is. And Susan Lucci is pretty much the gatekeeper. I don't know if she's the devil, but she's pretty much some kind of demon incarnate. She's got some high power going on there. You know, and Robert Urich, he's like kind of suspicious of this whole thing. And there's this climax at the end where he puts on this spacesuit, and like he can see, using some kind of technology, he can see whether a person is a person or whether a person is a malevolent being. All right, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I had fun with this movie. I've seen it a couple of times now, and I always have fun with it. You know, especially with scenery stealing Susan Lucci, you know, playing the part of a devil or a demon or whatever. All right, so there you go. That is Invitation to Hell. All right, TV movie. All right. Next up, this one. Oh my gosh, I remember when this movie first came out. I remember the controversy behind this movie. I remember how pissed off parents were about this movie. And of course, I am talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night. All right, okay. All right, so this is directed by Charles E. Sellier Jr. It is written by Michael Hickey, and it is based on a story by Paul Kamey. It stars Lillian Chauvin, Robert Brian Wilson, and Linnea Quigley, all right, among a few other cast members. So what is Silent Night, Deadly Night about? So a long time ago, when little Billy was a kid, or little Billy was the kid or whatever, he's riding along with his parents, and he witnesses the two of them being murdered by a guy in a Santa Claus suit. You can imagine what this does to a kid's psyche when you see something like this. All right, so go on to years later, and Billy, he's still got this stuff going on in his mind and things, and he's working at this department store, and lo and behold, what do? They make him dress in a Santa Claus suit to greet all the little kiddies. All right. Again, you can imagine what this does to Billy's psyche, and next thing you know, he is going on this rampage in this Santa Claus suit, punishing the bad little boys and girls, all right? And of course, they're not bad little boys and girls. They are grown adults that he is punishing. One girl, like, he lifts up and just impales her on this trophy of this buck, you know, and I can't remember what else he does to people, but yeah, he just goes on this, you know, Santa Claus, you know, is going to punish you rampage is what he does. So yeah, that is Silent Night, Deadly Night. So you can kind of imagine why parents were so pissed off whenever this movie came out, you know, because it was going to give they were afraid it was going to give their kids nightmares. And I guarantee you, these same parents, they were so worried about their kids, I bet the kids were sneaking and doing their best to see this movie, you know, because kids will be kids, all right? Anyway. All right, so last but not least, I just had to include some incredibly trashy horror for this list, and I can't think of anything more trashy than the Toxic Avenger. Maybe I should say it like this: the Toxic Avenger. Anyway, this is directed by Michael Hertz and Lloyd Kaufman. The screenplay is by Joe Ritter. The story is by Lloyd Kaufman. It stars Mitch Cohen, Andre Miranda, and Jennifer Baptist, but she's really Baptist, but she went by Baptist in the movie. All right. So, what is the Toxic Avenger about? The Toxic Avenger is about Melvin the mop boy. All right. Okay. Melvin is this geeky, nerdy, pimply. Think Arnie Cunningham from Christine, and just multiply that tenfold. You got Melvin the mop boy, all right? Okay, so one night or one day or whatever, he has a prank played on him that involves a sheep. And Melvin is so distraught at all the people laughing at him that he goes crashing through a window and he falls into this huge 55-gallon drum of toxic, ugly green toxic waste. All right, now anybody else that falls into something like this, it's going to kill them right away, pretty much. I mean, I don't think their life expectancy is like null and void. Just, you know, sign the death certificate and be done with it. Okay. No, not Melvin. Melvin transforms into New Jersey's first superhero, the Toxic Avenger. And he goes all over New Jersey seeking out those that would do evil. And he dispatches them in some pretty horrendously gory ways. Because I'm going to say one thing about this movie is it is gory, okay? Let me see. How is some of the things he does to kill evildoers? He rips one guy's arm off. He makes a human milkshake out of another one. Let's see. Oh yeah, and he takes puts one guy under these weights, you know, the weights that lift up like this with the cables, and drops him right down on his head. You can imagine what that looks like. Yes, that is the Toxic Avenger. Although I will say this much, he's never referred to as the Toxic Avenger in the movie. He's always referred to as the monster hero. All right. And he even gets a girlfriend, but she's blind. I mean, because the dude is fugly. All right, I mean, we're talking about hitting every branch of the ugly tree on the way down. That's how fugly this dude is, but he's like super strong and all that stuff. That is the Toxic Avenger, okay? Trashy horror at its absolute best, okay? So there you go. All right, that is going to do it. That is 5 horror movies from the year 1984. This is Cinema of Blood. Thank you for watching. And take care and stay scared.